How the heck are you? This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. Anyway, hey, how you doing? I digress. Hey, again, I wanted to, was explaining, and I ran out of time again, what I wanted to do with a new segment I want to call Drinking with the Beer Whisperer. I'm just going to do my 5-minute beer things, but I also want to talk about other alcohol-related topics, and I didn't want to do, hour-and-a-half shows like I had been doing before, so I want to figure out a way to kind of do like about, 15-minute-ish segments and hope folks will stay with me that long. Oh, excuse me. Just having some old Fitzgerald bottled in bond bourbon. I'm going to pour about a shot here. Ish. Yeah. If I was home, I'd have a shot glass. I'm kind of a close enough guy, I'm, kind of a guy who likes just to get it in the ballpark. I'm going to call that in the ballpark. You ever been to whiskey tastings? If you have, they do this to you. They pour you just a little bit in a glass, generally about a quarter shot, sometimes average, but generally just a tiny bit. And they tell you to do this to the glass, and then they tell you to do the nose. And I covered a little bit in the episode, so it's kind of a little bit of a rehash, but there's a reason for it, bear with me. They tell you to take a little sip. Tell you to mark the flavors. You do get some sugars, kind of some burnt caramel. Then they tell you to pour just a little bit of water. Now, there's some folks that don't believe in putting water in whiskey. And I'm not talking about putting half a glass of water. But if you've ever been to an actual whiskey tasting, they do tell you to put a tiny bit of water, about like that, in there. Then swish it around, and then try it. But what that water will do is that water will open up the nose. It'll open up the flavors too. And now they're bigger. Wow, it's actually not bad. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm drinking this whiskey, because I'm a poor guy on a budget. But I don't like drinking raw gut. This is an actual 4-year-old bourbon. It's not a 7 or an 11. It's maybe people are going to say, but I only drink this. So the snobbery exists in every walk of alcohol world, and I've drank all those and I love them, but I am on a budget. So, and the truth is, if you shop around and if you're smart, you will find deals that are just as good as many more expensive whiskeys. But this one I've seen on the internet anywhere from $17 all the way up to $47. 47 is probably way in line, but I did see that number. I bought it for $11. Oh. And what? Truthfully, it's not bad. It is a 4-year-old. Bourbon has to be 3. This is 4. It's not terrible. It's actually, I find it more pleasant than what Jack Daniel's currently is, or even the regular Jim Beam, because Jack Daniel's back in, when I first started drinking, was a 90 proof whiskey. Now it's down to just a 40 proof whiskey. They've continued to add water to it over the years. I think somewhere in the late 80s it knocked down to an 86%. Or 86 proof rather, and now it's just an 80 proof. It's the same as Jim Beam. A lot of people think it's a great whiskey. They're just kind of relying on that same marketing. I've always preferred Jim Beam actually over Jack Daniel's, but this actually has a lot more complexity. I'm not going to say it's better, because that's better is a strange word. I mean, what makes something better? I do like the complexity here. It's very nice. It's very nice. Oh, yeah, okay, here's the thing. I said in the first segment that I want to cover topics, in Drinking with the Beer Whisperer. Drinking with Tom the Beer Whisperer. This is how I am. I'm going to eventually get there, but I found I couldn't quite explain everything I wanted to say in the first one, so I have to do another segment of 15 minutes explaining what I want to do. And hopefully you're still hanging with me by the end of it. I am not going to cover politics. I'm not going to talk about religion. I said before I wanted to make this as like you're having a conversation in a bar or a pub. And politics and religion sometimes come up in a pub or a bar, but I'm not doing that. This is this segment is what I want to talk about. It's just about having a good time and just drinking. I'm not going to get into that other end. I don't want to. I'm drinking a Genesee. Again, a high-end beer, a craft beer, probably not. 4.5% a light American adjunct lager. Adjunct lager, what does that mean, Tom? You tell me. Of course, anybody that's watching this probably knows what that means, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Adjunct lager, adjunct just means there's something other than barley malt in the beer. Of course, we're not Germany, but the German purity law is, barley malt, hops, yeast, and water. Many American beers add other ingredients, such as rice and or corn and various forms of. Many of the cheaper beers will add corn syrup or corn extract, that kind of thing. This particular one here adds corn grits. And having drank this, and having drank Budweiser in the past, and Miller, in all of its forms, MGD and Light and whatever, having drank all forms of Coors at some form, and having drank just about every beer on the market at some point, this isn't any worse than any of them. And in fact, if Budweiser wouldn't have just this wonderful freaking marketing, people wouldn't drink it. It's a horrible beer. I bet if every Budweiser drinker that swore by the beer, thought it was the best beer ever, did a blind taste test, they wouldn't pick it. Most wouldn't. And many would because they're convinced that is a good beer when it is in fact not. But that's a whole other argument. Oh. Wowzer. Okay, again, I just kind of wanted to explain what I wanted to do, and eventually I'm going to get to actual topics, probably on the next episode, but I'm not going to do that one for a little while, at least another week anyway. But I wanted to kind of get this thing kicked off, get some feedback on topics, and see what you all want to talk about. And I want this to be kind of like a virtual pub, like me and whoever wants to listen to me is at a bar just having a conversation. These are the things we talk about. So, like I said in the first episode, I'm going to rehash this a touch, is that, I'm going to tell some bad jokes, I'm going to tell some embarrassing stories, and I want to talk about drinking things like bar etiquette, how it's changed over the years. I want to talk about the evolution of various cocktails, how they've changed, how some go in and out of style. How the craft beer world has changed over the years. And, even how it became craft beer is an interesting story. So we'll get to stuff like that at some point, but I want it to be more casual. I want to give you some information, but I don't want it to be like I'm giving you a history lesson. I want it to be just kind of casual, like we're having a conversation. Because, I want this to be fun for everybody. And I'm all about fun, y'all. Seriousness, right? Seriousness. We all have seriousness in our life, and I'm not able to get out and drink a lot, and when I can, I don't want to talk about the heavy conversations. Those folks that know me know, my son has leukemia, and we're going through a lot of serious stuff, and I can't always do the things, or he can't do the things he used to do, and the family can't. And that's not a bad thing, too, because now we're rallied around in a different way. But when I do have a few minutes, like 15 minutes here to talk about something else, we're going to do it, and I'm going to, try to relax and have fun. I think when things become serious, it's time to give them up. And right now, I just want this to be all about fun. Here's the, I've had some people tell me this is a great beer for what it is. I've had some people tell me it's a horrible beer. The truth is, it's not bad. And the whole, I've had this conversation with some folks across the pond who just don't get these. I think they're just all terrible, and they bag on them every chance they get. And, they don't like the fact that these are drank extremely cold. This is a type of beer that you want, like, right at freezing, baby. I mean, you want about 33 degrees. 33, 34 degrees. You want to freeze the bejesus out of her, man. Does it have tons of flavor? No, of course, it's not supposed to. But it is refreshing. It does make it feel good, and it's, Again, I'm about taking things on their own merits. That's the type of style it is, and that's okay. You can't rate an American Edge lager up against an American Craft Imperial Stout. It's a whole different animal. I'm not, it's just ridiculous to think you can. And if you're noticing, hey, there's a reason why I'm only doing this for 15 minutes, because we're already 10.5 minutes in. I really haven't discussed anything with you other than to ramble a little bit. And that's kind of the point of the whole thing. I want this thing to be like like we're at a bar for 15 minutes having a drink. I could do 30, 45-minute segments, but I think 15 is good. I just think the hour-and-a-half segments I was doing on another show was way too long, and it's just crazy. Even breaking it up into little bits, it just seemed kind of disjointed. So I'm going to do these 15 minutes where I feel like I'm covering a specific thing. Again, I had to do 2 episodes to just discuss with you what I want to do, but my mind is what it is. Folks are going to notice, again, that I do different things. Sometimes I do this, 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 I do a lot of different things. I have Tourette's, and that's why I do them. I try to hide them many times as just normal behavior. So when I see myself doing something, I try to make it look like I'm trying to fix my glasses, or I'm just moving my hair back. I have Tourette's. There you go. I know there's a segment out there of people that think it's ridiculous and it doesn't really exist. Well, it does. And if you're one of those people that don't think it really exists, and you're just ignorant and you need to read a little bit. So I may have lost a few audience members. I went from 5 to 3 just now. Anyway, I digress. Wow. I don't know if you've been watching me drink this or not, but as you can see, I'm a whiskey sipper. I don't shoot. But if you haven't paid attention to me, you can see how I'm drinking it. To drink bourbon, like any whiskey, for instance, but a lot of people, you'll say, take a sip, and they'll do this number. They'll put it to their lips, they'll tip their tongue, and they'll go, "Oh, that's terrible." That's because you didn't taste it, my friend. You gotta get it about the middle of your tongue. It's gonna taste bitter. It's gonna taste bad. You do it that way. Take about about a quarter teaspoon, about the middle of your tongue. Hold it for about half a second. Swallow. Then you're gonna taste the caramel. Then you're gonna taste the sugar. Then you're gonna taste all that sweetness. You're going to taste all the wonderful complexity of that bourbon. That's what you need to do. Anyway, I digress again. Some people think I'm hard to take serious because I give you something serious, then I act goofy, right? Well, that's kind of my thing. So take me serious or don't, but sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Well, I talked about this a little bit in the first episode. I kind of like to just sit and sip his beer and sip a little whiskey. I don't slam either. Not knocking the beer back as fast as I can. I'm not knocking this whiskey back. I'm relaxed and drinking both. It's just a nice way to drink. Okay. Now we come to the bad joke portion of the program. Because bad jokes always happen when you're in a pub, and I said I want to make this like we're all in a pub having a beer together. So this guy walks into a bar. He's got a box. He sits down at the bar. He's got a box about this wide, about this tall, sits on a bar, and he orders 2 bourbon neat, 2 beers. This little guy hops at the box and sits on top of the box. The bartender sets up the drinks. The little guy hops up the box, knocks their drinks over, runs around the bar, knocks everybody's drinks over, and hops back on top of the box again. The bartender walks up to the guy. Before he can say anything, the guy says, hey, I'm sorry. Please set us up again. Give everybody a drink on me, and I apologize for my friend. So the bartender just gets the last drink set up, and the little guy hops off the box, knocks her drinks over, runs around the bar, knocks everybody's drinks over. The bartender walks back up to him and says, hey, I'm not serving you again until you tell me what's wrong. The bartender says, the guy says, well, one day, one day I was on the beach, and I found a genie bottle, and I rubbed a genie bottle, and this genie popped out. Boo! And the genie said I could have one wish, anything I wanted, and I wished for a 12-inch prick, and that's just what I got. Hey, it's time to Beer Whisperer. You've been drinking with the Beer Whisperer, and I'll be back when it's time for another.